Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your weekly astrology overview for the week of November 29th to December 5th, 2021. Now in this video, I am going to keep it very short and simple and provide you the big picture of the week, and we'll keep it like that today. So this week we are in between eclipses. There was an eclipse on November 19th and there will be an eclipse on December 4th, which means coming into this week, we are still in a karmic, destined, fated zone where karmic, destined and fated events take place. And we are also in the full moon eclipse energy, right? Full moon lunar eclipse energy that happened on November 19th, which means we are still doing a lot of release, a lot of letting go. So that's the first thing. The second thing about this week is that Neptune is going to go direct on December 1st, Wednesday. Now, Neptune is a planet that has been retrograde since June 25th of 2021, and Neptune will be the fifth planet to go direct since October. Since October, we've had Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mercury as well, because Mercury was retrograde coming into October, go direct, and Neptune will be the fifth one, which means the pace at which things has been going will pick up a little bit more, because it really picked up in the month of October. Now, the next thing is that we have the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius on December 4th, Saturday in this week. So those are the highlights. Now, I will talk about what these energies mean more when I cover the days. So let's just talk about the days real quick, and then we'll talk about these energies, and I will pull a card at the end of the video. So Monday is a day where the moon will be in Libra, and that energy in a way is about finding balance and focusing on relationships. So that's the overall energy for Monday, where the moon is concerned, focusing more on balance and finding balance in relationships. Now the moon will make two aspects on Monday. It will trine the North Node, and it will also oppose Chiron and trine Saturn at the same time. And this means on Monday, we can feel like our emotions, or we are in tune with our goals, the North Node. That can be one energy on Monday that we go through. Another energy that we will feel on Monday is feeling slightly wounded, because it is going to oppose Chiron, right? Chiron is our wounds. So we might feel that feeling of a little, okay, I'm not feeling the best. Why did this happen to me? That sort of energy. And the goal is to overcome that wound or that pain and heal. And through that process, we can even take a decision or define something in our lives, because the moon at the same time is in a trine with Saturn. So those are the aspects the moon is making on Monday. And Monday is also a day where we have the Mars-Neptune trine. So we can really feel like whatever action we are taking, whatever we are doing, is coming from a spiritual place. And we spoke about this energy in last week's video as well. And by Monday, the Sun and Mercury must have conjuncted, and we would have received an insight, a realization, an epiphany, or a message of sorts. And that conjunction, the Sun-Mercury conjunction, was in a sextile with Saturn and trine to Chiron, meaning that it would have been a healing message, epiphany, or insight that could have led to some decision or commitment, or just a definition to the things in our lives. So that's Monday, a lot of focus on relationship, focus on finding balance in our lives. We might feel wounded at some points in the day, but the goal is to work through those wounds so that we can maybe define our emotions better, or make commitments, or take decisions. And we will also in many ways feel positive about our goals and our direction in life. And at the same time, whatever we are doing, taking action towards, is coming from a spiritual place. So that's Monday. Now moving on to Tuesday. Now on Tuesday, the moon continues to be in Libra, which means that we will still be focused on our relationships and finding balance. And on Tuesday, we do have a positive aspect with Venus sextiling Neptune. So now we can start to feel quite magical or spiritual or creative about our projects and relationships. It's a positive energy when it comes to our relationships and projects on Tuesday. And Venus at the same time is in a sextile to Mars, so we can really find that courage, that drive, that willpower, that initiative to take action towards our relationships and projects. So Tuesday is a day where a lot of focus will be on our relationships, projects, and finding balance. And we also have the Sun sextiling Saturn on Tuesday. Now, this could be a moment where we define something when it comes to our identity. And think of Feb of this year when the Sun conjuncted Saturn, right? Now it's sextiling it, almost closing out that cycle. Think of Feb. Maybe some new project started then, maybe something new in your identity, or something new when it comes to just your consciousness. The Sun is now reaching a point where we might be able to define it better or make a change to it that comes about organically and easily. So that's another aspect that is happening. So we do have one stressful aspect for the moon on Tuesday and another positive one. We have the moon squaring Venus, a stressful aspect, and we also have the moon trining Jupiter. So then, although on Tuesday we will feel very creative, magical, spiritual about our relationships and projects, there might be a moment or two where we feel like, okay, I need to change something about these things because the moon will square Venus. So that might happen for a couple of hours or so on Tuesday. But the moon is also going to make a positive aspect with Jupiter, which means we can feel very optimistic and hopeful and joyous on Tuesday as well. So to sum up Tuesday, I would say it's a very positive day. Venus is going to sextile Neptune. We can feel very creative. We can feel very spiritual and magical about our relationships and projects. And we might make some changes, and we might even change up something that started in Feb, or just, things that started in Feb may start to fall into place a little bit. So that's Tuesday, a moment of feeling stressed out, but overall it's a positive energy. Now moving on to Wednesday, the moon does change signs by Wednesday, and now the moon is in Scorpio. So we will see a slight shift in energy coming into Wednesday. Now Wednesday, with the moon in Scorpio, we are not going to be focused so much on relationships and finding balance. Instead, it's going to be more about going within, going deep into our emotions, finding the truth. All Scorpio things, healing even, releasing emotions, right? We are going to be doing all that work on Wednesday. And Wednesday can feel slightly stressful because the moon in Scorpio is not the best placement for the moon. So we don't feel the best when the moon is in Scorpio. It's about digging deep into our emotions and finding the truth, and that can feel uncomfortable. And the moon will also square Saturn and oppose Uranus on Wednesday. So this could be an energy where we feel a little stressed out, where we are asked to make certain changes, make decisions, make commitments, or change up something in a sudden, unexpected way when it comes to our emotions. So Wednesday can be an intense energy compared to the first 2 days of the week, but it's not very intense. It's just about going more within ourselves, going more with the truth, and making certain commitments and decisions. And we might feel slightly low or stressed out during the day, so let that energy pass. And the highlight of Wednesday, December 1st, is that Neptune is going to go direct. Now, Neptune is the planet of our spirituality, creativity, and connecting with the higher realms. And it's also the planet of escapism, drugs, delusions, addictions, depression. And when Neptune is retrograde, the intensity of all these things dials down. It's more a review period when it comes to our spirituality or creativity or connecting with the higher realms, or if drugs, delusions, addictions apply to you, then those areas as well. But when Neptune goes direct, the forward movement begins in this area, which means the active work begins again when it comes to our spirituality, our creativity, or working through issues of drugs, delusions, addictions, depression. So Neptune going direct will mean more forward movement. And that's the highlight of Wednesday. Now moving on to Thursday, the moon continues to be in Scorpio. Again, that intense energy of finding the truth, digging deep into our emotions, communicating perhaps in an intense way will continue. And on Tuesday, the moon does trine Neptune. So there might be moments in the day where we feel very spiritually connected, where we may feel very creative and can indulge in creative pursuits. But the moon will also conjunct Mars, so we might get a little angry or frustrated on Thursday at some points in the day. Alternatively, we might find a lot of emotional courage and drive to take action and get things done. And we also have the moon squaring Jupiter. So this is another energy where we might need to change something in our emotions so that we can maintain that hope, joy, and optimism. So again, Thursday is a day where the intensity of the moon in Scorpio continues with a moment of feeling spiritual and creative, and even like that you're spiritually aligned. But there are moments where we can feel angry and frustrated, or just a little less optimistic than usual. And moving on to Friday. On Friday, the moon again changes signs. The moon enters the sign of Sagittarius. Now, this is where we will have the new moon solar eclipse at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So the moon has entered Sag. Now, the moon in Sagittarius is a very uplifting, optimistic, fun-loving energy. It's all about exploring. It's about going on an adventure. It's about learning things. Overall, it's a very optimistic energy. So we'll see that shift coming into Friday. The energy will be lighter. It will be more fun-loving, more about exploring things. And the moon here, as it enters the sign of Sagittarius, will conjunct the South Node. So although the moon in Sagittarius is about these things of being optimistic and joyous and hopeful, there is a moment where we can feel slightly drained in our energy, where we can revisit the past in our thoughts or in our emotions. So there is that element to it, but that's not going to last very long, a couple of hours at most, and then it'll ease off. But overall speaking, it's a positive, optimistic energy. And if you are on the West Coast, the new moon solar eclipse will happen close to midnight, but for most of the world, this solar eclipse will happen on 4th December, Saturday. So let's move on to Saturday and talk about the new moon solar eclipse. So to put it very simply, a new moon solar eclipse is a new beginning that is karmic and fated. And why do I say that? I say that because a new moon represents a new beginning, and when a new moon is close to the lunar nodes, it becomes an eclipse, right? So eclipses are karmic. That's why this is a new beginning that is karmic and destined. Now, this new moon solar eclipse is happening at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So you can look at your chart for 12 degrees of Sagittarius to know exactly where this eclipse is going to happen. And I will break down this eclipse energy in detail in my eclipse video. But overall speaking, first of all, this will be a new beginning, a karmic beginning, a new energy coming in rather, where 12 degrees of Sagittarius lies in your chart. And in Sagittarius, this beginning is an optimistic one. Sagittarius is a Jupiter-ruled energy. It's the most optimistic sign of the zodiac. It is the most adventurous sign in a way. So this new beginning will be, I believe, a positive one. It will be karmic and fated, as obviously, but with Sagittarius, it's usually a positive thing. So to sum it up, I would say look for 12 degrees of Sagittarius in your chart, and that's where this new fated beginning is going to happen. And in the sign of Sagittarius, it is optimistic, it is joyous, it is about going on an adventure and exploring things. And an interesting fact is that there was an eclipse. Usually eclipses come back not in the same signs but in the same spot almost every 19 years. So 19 years ago in 2000, we had on December 4th, exactly the same day, December 4th, 2002, we had a new moon solar eclipse just like this one in the sign of Sagittarius at 11 degrees and 58 minutes. And this time we're having it at 12 degrees 22 minutes. And it's interesting, you can totally disregard this part, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's interesting that eclipses have this almost 19-year cycle where they come back at the same spot almost. And for our personal lives, that could mean similar themes come back into our lives. And always be mindful of the fact that the exact same theme will not repeat itself, right? Similar themes might come back, but all the other planets are in different positions, right, than they were 19 years ago. So it might be a similar theme coming back up, but not the exact same way it was back then. So just an interesting fact that 19 years ago on December 4th, we had an eclipse close to 12 degrees of Sagittarius, which we do now on December 4th, 19 years later as well. Now, that's the eclipse day, and this will begin a karmic new energy for us. And eclipse energy stays with us for a much longer time. Typically, a new moon stays with us for about a month, right? The energy. But a new moon solar eclipse energy can stay with us for at least 6 months, if not longer. So this new energy that will come in the sign of Sagittarius, where 12 degrees of Sag is in your chart, will take some time, right? We will work on that for 6 months. So that's Saturday, and I would say Saturday is the highlight of the week. And moving on to Sunday. Sunday is a day where the moon changes signs after the new moon solar eclipse on Saturday into the sign of Capricorn. So the energy will shift on Sunday. We will do moon and Capricorn things, right? Capricorn is a very serious energy. It's about working hard. It's about being disciplined. So Sunday is a day where we will be more serious, where we will be focused on work a little bit more. I know it's a Sunday, but the moon is in Capricorn. So we'll see the shift. If not Sunday morning, if you are more on the eastern part of the world, then more on Sunday evening, the moon's shifting into Capricorn, making us more focused on work, on being disciplined, on working on our goals. And the moon in Capricorn does make one stressful aspect with the square to Chiron. So we might feel slightly wounded again. We might feel like, oh, why did this happen to me again? And the goal always is to work through that energy so that we can feel healed, so that we don't feel victimized any longer, right? But there is a tendency of having that feeling of why did this happen to me? I don't feel the best on Sunday with the moon squaring Chiron. But the moon will also trine Uranus, so we might go through a positive, sudden change to our emotions that helps us get more in tune with our authentic self, because the moon is going to trine Uranus, the planet that rules our true authentic self. So that's the week's energy. Now we have a few things coming up next week that I'd like to mention. First of all, we have the Mars-Pluto sextile on 6th of December. We have Mercury squaring Neptune on 7th of December. We have Mars squaring Jupiter on 8th of December. Venus conjunct Pluto on 11th. And Sun square Neptune on 12th. So next week is a lot happening, and we are also building up to the Saturn-Uranus square that will happen on December 24th exact. Now I'll speak a little bit about the square, because this week Saturn will hit 9 degrees and Uranus is at 11 degrees. So we'll see the intensity of the square start to build from this week. Now, this square, the Saturn-Uranus square, is something we are seeing after 21 years. And this energy is asking us to embrace the new and get rid of the old. It's asking us to embrace our true authentic self and get rid of the idea of who we think we should be. And since it's a square, this process might feel slightly challenging. And we've been working through this energy all of this year. It was very intense in the month of Feb, and it was very intense in the month of June. And then it started to ease off after June. But now we are building up to the intensity again, because it's going to be most intense when the square comes exact. So we'll be doing a lot more work when it comes to getting rid of the old, embracing the new, and embracing our true authentic self. So I just thought I'd mention that, and we'll see the intensity build in the background slowly this week as well. Now, I will pick a card for this week, and then we'll close it out, right? Let's go with this deck. Too many cards have flipped, so let me do that again. Let's go with the top card. Release. So we are in the lunar eclipse energy, right? That happened on November 19th. And that energy, if you haven't seen my eclipse video, that energy is about letting go. It's about releasing a lot of buried emotions, fears, subconscious stuff. And this week we are continuing the work at least till the new moon on Saturday, right? So new moon solar eclipse on Saturday. So this week is about release. Now I'll pick one more card, and let's go with this deck. New life. And I think this card is about the new moon solar eclipse on Saturday, right? It's a new energy coming in. And Sag usually is a very positive energy. It always sees the glass half full, you know. It'll see the most optimistic thing in the most negative situation. So that's Sag. So when you have a new moon solar eclipse in Sag, usually it's very positive. Of course, a lot depends on your personal chart, on your personal planets, and how it plays out for you. But generally speaking, Sag is a very positive energy. And this is referring to that new energy coming in. So we will be releasing till, I believe, Saturday, and then we have a new energy. And think of it this way, we're releasing so much so that we can be ready for the new. You know, oftentimes, my mom always says, you can't really get in new stuff till you get rid of the old stuff. So if you don't have that space inside you, how will new stuff come in? How will the new energy come in? So we first have to get rid of the old energy and then let the new come in. So I'll just keep it at 2 cards today, because I think these 2 cards are perfect, right? Release and new life. And that sums it up for this week. So we will be in the release process till Saturday, and then there's new energy with the new moon solar eclipse. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just thought simplifying it and making it a little shorter and just giving the big picture is a more useful way, I would say, rather than going into the details. So that's why I did it this way. And I hope you have a great week. I will see you in one of my other videos now. Bye.